Ah, there we go. So Chowking. Papanga. Just picked up some food from Chowking and waiting for the traffic to pass. The main road going back into Davao, really busy. Long queues down near Azuela Cove. So we're taking a shortcut today. We're going back round past Fortuna subdivision, which is down here. So it's not a bad route. Annie's brother works down here. You remember I did that vlog with Annie? We went out for dinner with him. He's down here building an apartment block for somebody. But I'll point it out when I get down to it. But the first part of this subdivision is all industrialisation. It's all car parts, fabrication, truck repairs like this on the left. Yeah, and it gets and then it goes into your subdivision when you go right here. So it looks quite nice when you get to here, but leading into it, it's yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Somebody there brightening up their house. Now you can go straight on, but you can't get out, so you have to come round to the right. There's a Carinderia on the left hand side there, and then they got these speed ramps. You'll notice that in subdivisions. So that new house in front, the new roof over there, is where Archie's working. Come round to the left, come round to the right. There we go. They're doing up the places here. It's that one there. Yeah, that one on the left there. I think it's 9 rooms, and you'll get a CR, and you'll get a mini kitchen, and you'll get your own meters. I think it'll be around about, I don't know, 10,000 a month. But yeah, we'll come across that one. I'm going to update the vlog maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, on living expenses. Now, when I first came out to the Philippines 5 years ago, there was lots and lots and lots and lots of vloggers all bragging that they could live for $600 a month in the Philippines. Well, guess what? You don't see a lot of those vloggers anymore. You don't see a lot of those people bragging that they can live in the Philippines on $600 a month, because it's hard to try and live on $600 here. The government recommend $800 for a single person, and you need a guaranteed income. But tourists come here on tourist visas, and they stay and they have their onward ticket, and then they cash in their onward ticket, because you can buy onward tickets online at Expedia, and then when you get it, pays you $50, it puts you onto a aeroplane website, and then when you get here, you just let it expire. But you've only wasted $50. You haven't wasted the full value of the flight. But there's lots of little anomalies like that people used to turn around and take and use to turn around and live out here. But I don't see many people, single people, living on $800 a month. I think the average now, because times have changed, and they have changed. There we go. It's $1,000 a month. Yeah, you need to turn around and have $1,000 a month, and that will turn around and give you a lifestyle. Gone are those vlogs for subscribers and for views saying you can live on $800 like a king. Live like a king for $800 in the Philippines. I don't see many of those vloggers turn around and posting those over the top expectations and getting people's hopes up that they can live for $600 a month. In my opinion, no, you can't do that. It's over the last 5 years, it's become more and more difficult, and it's become more and more costly to live here. I use a thing called the thirds of life. I have my home where I live, and that takes a third of my monthly outgoings. Then I turn around and then I have what I call my items that I need: food, water, eating out, shopping. That takes a third of what I need. So house, electric, gas, water is a third. Then you turn around and you've got mobile phone, internet connection, wanting to eat, wanting to turn around and replace your clothing, fix stuff in the house and fix what you've got, you know, data payment on your mobile phone, petrol for the bike, insurance for the bike. That takes a third of my $1,000. Then I turn around and I got my final third, which is when I turn around and I go and travel. I go out to the cinema with Annie, and I turn around and go to a beach resort, and I go, because you can't just sit here with you and your partner and become hermits, you know, lock yourself in your room and just turn around and throw away the key. You have to turn around and have that third. So as you've done the maths, that's 3 3s is 9, so that's $900. Then I leave $100 left over, and that's a buffer zone for me to do what I'm doing. So for me and Annie, it's $1,000. When I came here 5 years ago, it was $1,000. So if the exchange rate goes up to 54, 55 peso to the dollar, great. If it goes down to 50, not so great. At the present time today, it's 55.5 peso to the dollar, or it's 69.13 peso to the pound. Very, very good. When that drops like it did last September, and down to the 50, and it goes down to the 60 mark for the pound and the dollar, it becomes more difficult. You have less funds and you need to budget for that. So I use that rule of thirds. Now there are people out there that turn around and say, oh, I live in this beautiful villa, it's costing me $450. Great. Some people go out there and they say, I'm moving today because the water has gone up on my house. Yeah, and that becomes your first third. Wherever you live, you need to make sure you've got your third for your house, your electric, and you turn around and got your water. You can live with that. You might get thin, you might become emaciated, but you can live on $300 with your house and your accommodation. Then you've got your second third, as I said. That needs to be for the incidentals, where you're keeping in touch with people, you're turning around and meeting people, you'll turn around and you're replacing your t-shirts, you're replacing your shorts, buying sunglasses, buying a new baseball cap. 299 peso this is. Buy one, get 23. No. Buy one, 299 peso. Not bad, is it? That's pretty cool. I like that. I turn around and get through baseball cap once every 6 months. The heat gets them, the sweat gets them, they start to rust and they fall apart. Only one careful owner, made in Beijing. Turn around and the final $300 is for your entertainment. And that's what I use, and I've used that all my life, and I still use it here. I get my money, I allocate all my bits out of my money, and what I got left is for me and Annie, and that's what I turn around and do. And in that final third, in that final $300 is Annie's coursework. That's her schooling at 20,000 peso every 6 months. That's her books. That's the stuff. That's all included in that. But do I see? No. Lots of these people doing vlogs live in the Philippines. I mean, I don't know. You might be able to live cheaper if you go to the retirement capital of the Philippines, where all the old farts live on Dumaguete. There must be more expats living in Dumaguete than Filipinos or Filipinas. Every week I'm seeing vlogs over there that, you know, what's happened to this guy, this is what you're doing this, doing that. Oh my god, would I like to live in Dumaguete? No. Dumaguete is a retirement home. Yeah, it's a retirement city. You go down that route, Cebu, you're not going to live cheaper in Cebu than you are in Davao. Okay, safety in Cebu, cost of everything in Cebu is very, very high. Forget about Manila. Don't even go there, because it'll cost you your arm, your leg, and you'd have to sell your family. So I don't see, come to the Philippines, live like a king for $600. Come to the Philippines, live like a king for $800. I don't see that. Or let's put it another way, I don't see videos come and live in the Philippines, live like a queen or a transgender for $600. Let's get that right. It might upset a few people over there in America by gender realignment and their aspirations to be something else in life. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing about it. People I speak to, their comments to me are exactly the same. We're not seeing that. When they're not seeing it, I'm not seeing it. I mean, I'm going to get to my pension in a year, and my government will turn around and start paying me my pension, and that will give me a portfolio that I know how much I got left in my savings pot to live on. If I want to go and splash the cash, then I can splash the cash, but it won't last long, will it? Because once I spend it, it's gone, and I'm not going to be able to get it back. And that's a problem here, that sometimes if you come to the Philippines and you're trying to live on 600 or 800, which is virtually impossible, you'll allocate yourself 1,000, you hook up with a Filipina. There are expectations from the Filipina that you are rich because you're a foreigner, but you don't want to turn around and say to her that you're poor and all you got is this, because, you know, you want to turn around and make a good impression. Well, forget the good impression. If that good impression makes you broke in 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, 60 months, rethink your strategy, rethink what you're actually doing. Mosquitoes. But anyway, from my balcony, can you live in the Philippines on $600 like a king, queen, or transgender? No. Can you live in the Philippines on $800? If you get rid of a lot of stuff out of your life, maybe. Can you live on 1,000? Yeah. They're turning around and saying living expenses $1,800 to $2,000 a month. Got a lovely big house, got a car, got all this stuff. So those guys can do it. I don't know how they do it. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. But if I turn around and put an extra $600 a month onto my living expenses, I wouldn't buy a car. I would travel a bit more with Annie, but yeah, I don't know how those guys do it. They spend all their money like you do in the Western world. You spend all your money on your house and running that house, that you got no money at the end of the month. Well, when I came here, I had a mortgage, I had gas, I had electricity, I had my garden, I had my car, I had all those things that Western culture have, and it gave me a handful of peanuts. Could I go to the cinema when I wanted? No. Could I go to the theatre? No. Could I turn around and go out and eat a meal once or twice a month? Not 4, 5, 6 times a month, no. So it becomes difficult, but it's a fine line. But as I said, today, can you live in the Philippines on 600 or 800 bucks like a king, queen or transgender? No. Honest answer, no. Don't even try it.